Hi, this is Todd Wente, and I'm here with the Daily 180 on location in Disney World. We're actually in the Hollywood studios today, and I want to conclude our series on frustrated and inspired by talking about those two things while here in Disney World in a line, waiting for a ride. You know, when we talk about frustrated and inspired, as we've been talking about those, we've been talking about them from the standpoint of what makes the difference. Well, it's about whether or not you care about what's going on. And so thinking about that in conjunction with this, Disney World is the perfect place to talk about the way that frustrated and inspired could be at exactly the same time. There are people in these lines with me waiting to get onto a ride that are going to be frustrated. They're going to be looking around and saying, "You mean I've got to wait for 80 minutes before I'm going to ride in that thing? You got to be kidding me. It's not worth it." And, you know, quite frankly, I think we've seen a few of them. In fact, my wife might have been one of them, and maybe my daughter. But my son and I, my son's right here, my son and I have been saying, no, it's going to be cool. It's going to be worth it. Again, both of us care. My wife and my daughter care because they're staying with us. They're a little bit frustrated, but they care. And so, yes, they're going to stay. Isaac and I are a little bit more inspired because we care. We want to have fun in the moment. We want to see all of those kinds of things. You can push that a little bit further and talk about Disney World as the perfect example of frustrated and inspired all at the same time as well. Walt being absolutely inspired about the idea of building something and sharing that inspiration with others. But so many of us experienced frustration when it had to be closed during the 2020 pandemic. Now they're open. Now we've got the opportunity to come back. All of this revolves around this same idea. Frustrated, inspired, it's all about whether or not we still care. So if you're experiencing something where you're feeling very, very frustrated, celebrate the fact that you care. And if you're inspired and nobody else is catching on, you feel like you're trying to convince people that something's going to be really cool and worth the wait, and they just don't catch on quite yet, don't let yourself become frustrated. Instead, remain inspired. All of these things, as I think about them in conjunction with the Daily 180, apply to the other things going on in our lives. There are probably going to be things that you're trying to do that nobody's going to understand. And if they don't understand them, it could get really easy to be frustrated. But you know what? Just like waiting in line at Disney, you can say to yourself, well, you know, if I keep my eye on where I'm going and remind myself that there is a purpose to where I'm going, and keep yourself being reminded about what you're moving to, you can nourish that feeling of connectedness, that caring that you've got, and be able to recognize when you're making progress. Hey, that's what's been happening while I've been recording this Daily 180 right now. We've been making progress in our line. It's kind of a cool deal. I hope this has been something that's been worthwhile for you. I hope you find ways to nourish the caring inside you, even when you feel a little frustrated, even when you feel a little inspired. Nourish that and make it work. Have a wonderful day. And as I always say, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.